We are unintentionally screwing up our kids and their future success. Barbara Williford here from East Texas. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are watching me live, drop a heart in the comments below, and if you are watching the replay, type replay. If you're a new viewer, type new so that I know that you are, so that I can personally reach out to you and meet you. So as well-meaning adults, we are all trying the best that we can to let our kids learn all the skills that are needed to be successful in school, to be successful in college, in jobs, and pretty much basically everything in life. But we are actually screwing them up with the approach that we are taking. As a parent of 4 kids and a former teacher of 18 years, I can say that I have seen this many, many times. So I wanted to hop on here and I wanted to share with you some information that I recently read in a book by an author who has spent his entire life studying happiness. Hey, BB, thanks for joining. He has been studying happiness and how happiness and success correlate together. And, that's ultimately what we want for our kids. If you are a parent, type how many kids you have and what their ages are. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am by no means a perfect parent. When my kids were growing up, I made a lot of mistakes, and I will continue to do so because, let's face it, we're all human. But learning and growing along the way will lead to more successful moments. So here goes, okay? Our society has become overly focused on the power of one alone versus the power of one made stronger by others. Hollywood glorifies individual stars. You see sports announcers and sports commentators pick out the superstars of the team and focus on them, and quite frankly, they get paid the most. And we see this in our society all the time. But when we try to adopt this strategy in schools and in companies, focusing only on individual achievement and eliminating the others from the equation, that's where our true power remains hidden. When kids are born, they're helpless and they rely totally on the parents. And as they get older and they start to accomplish these little milestones, we praise them. Look at you did it all by yourself. They take a step. Look at you, you're walking all by yourself. And so when they're young, we start to condition them at that young age the value of accomplishments on their own. And then at school, kids are trained to study diligently and work as individuals so that they can best others in exams and test scores. And if they do seek help from other students on a project, they're chastised for cheating. And so they are giving multiple hours of homework at night, forcing them to trade time with others and focus on all this time to try to get ahead. And as they're doing that, they're getting more isolated. And so over and over, they are reminded that the future of success in the workplace hinges on individual metrics, including their grades and their test scores. Who is relating to what I'm saying here? Type an amen in the comments below. Statistically, their grades and their standardized test scores do not determine their success in life. But this approach to learning does do one thing. It dramatically raises their stress level while robbing them of those social connections we talked about, robbing them of sleep, attention, happiness, and health. We can question the system and we judge those that can't keep up with this feeding frenzy of individual achievement. And by the time the students finish school, whether it's high school or whether it's college, they're frazzled. they're fragile, they're lonely, and they realize that this success and this happiness that they have been promised at the end of the rainbow does not exist. So if you agree with this, or if you have experienced this, type a 1 in the comments below. You know, suddenly those same people who tested so well as individuals struggle when they need to work with others to bring a product to market or to get their team to reach a target. And meanwhile, those people that rose to success, that are at the top, those are the ones that didn't do everything by themselves. Instead, they asked others for help. They rallied others to help them. You know, parents who supported this balanced, connected approach to pursuing success for their children, they were rewarded with persistence. Persistence, is that even a word? But these parents that urged individual achievement at the cost of the connection those kids had with others found that their kids were unprepared, they had burnout, and they had loneliness. So are you understanding what I'm saying now? Type a yes in the comments below. You know, we spend the first 22 years of life being judged and praised for our individual attributes and what we can achieve alone, when for the rest of our lives, our success is almost entirely dependent on our interconnection with others. We have a work setting where we have to connect with others. We have a family setting. We have to connect with others. Social settings. This all requires us to be interconnected. So if you agree with this, drop truth bomb in the comments below. You know, science has taught us survival of the fittest. The success is a zero-sum game. That those with the best grades or the most impressive resume or the highest point score will be the only ones to prosper. We have been taught this, to be smarter, to be better, and more creative than everyone else, and then you will be successful. Who was taught this? Drop a 2 in the comments below. But that's inaccurate in the real world. Research is actually finding that it is survival of the best fit. In other words, success is not about how creative you are, how smart you are, how driven you are, but how well you are able to connect with, contribute to, and benefit from the ecosystem of people around you. You know, it isn't just that how highly rated you were in college or the workplace, but it's how well you fit there. It isn't just about how many points you score, but how well you complete the skill of the team. If you agree with that, type a 3 in the comments below. And you know, here we are, we're clinging to this old formula of success, and we're leaving a large amount of potential untapped. So I want you to hear what I'm saying here, okay? Recent studies show that the average age of being diagnosed with depression in 1978 was 21. In 2009, the average age was 14 and a half. Are you hearing this? 14-year-olds who should be outside playing with their friends, who should be having fun, who should be kids, are being diagnosed with depression. And the depression rates for adults have doubled, as have hospitalizations for attempted suicide for children as young as 8 years old. What in the world is happening to our children? If this angers you, drop that anger emoji in the comments below. So what accounts for this, and how do we change it? Our emphasis on individual achievement has gone into serious overdrive, fueled by the rise of technology, social media, pressure, and competition. Think about it. We have broadcasted to us 24/7 all the individual accomplishments of everybody. It's constantly being fed to us, constantly feeding this competition, while simultaneously it is stoking insecurities in others. And second, the astronomical pressure and competition in our schools and in our companies in pursuit of higher individual success metrics are driving longer days, less sleep, and more stress. Sorry, my husband's home. So how many of you are victims of this? I know that I have been and my kids have been. Shout out if this has been you. So how do we change this? So think about this perspective. Small potential is limited success you can achieve alone. Big potential is the success you achieve only in a virtuous cycle with others. So, what about this solution? Number 1, surround yourself with a star system of positive influencers. Number 2, expand your power by helping others lead from every seat. Number 3, enhance your resources by becoming a prism of praise. Number 4, defend the system against negative attacks. And number 5, sustain the gains by fueling the virtuous cycle. So think about gardening. Seeds can't garden alone, right? They need help from the sun, the soil, and the water. In the same way, you can't grow to your full potential alone. You need help from others. And the biggest growth is achieved when we tap into the potential of those around us. So let's stop competing for the scraps of small potential and seek new frontiers of human potential and invite others to follow. We rise by lifting others up. Who agrees with that statement? So I hope that you found value from this information. If you want further information about this or about the book that I got that from, just reach out to me or comment below and I can get you that information. So thank you for watching and go meet your big potential.